Ladies and gentlemen, guess who's back for the end of the year? An end of the year show. The voice of reason, aka Zolo Williams. You on the dig, you know what it's about, man. Listen, man, this has been an amazing year. This has been a trying year. But this year is a stepping stone to all of the great things one would seek to have in their lives. I know, at least in my life, this year has been a tremendous stepping stone. Can you identify the stepping stones that have been presented to you this year? That's today's topic. Well, not really, but that's part of what today's topic is going to be about. I just want to wish everybody happy holidays, or for some, happy holidays. Because let me tell you something, ain't nothing like going through hell with family during the holidays. That is a different type of stress. You know what I did? So we'll call those who have gone through that type of stress holiday survivors. You know what I did? Man, I'm so excited about all the things that have transpired this year. And I wanted to do a show. But you know, as commonplace here on VOR Radio, on Dash Radio, we have to promote small businesses. And let me just say this really quickly. We're also broadcasting live on my YouTube channel. All right? We're broadcasting live on my YouTube channel. If you want to go see this show live, right? Go to youtube.com/The Zo What Show. All one word, The Zo What Show. You can see me broadcasting live right now. And right now, I have on a very red sweatshirt as well as, shirt. Matching patterns. Somebody said, boy, I tell you, the gangs done owned colors. Colors belong to gangs now, don't they? Somebody see you in red, they go, oh, you a blood now. I'm in red and white. You blood now, huh? Is that what you is? Instead of saying, you got on red and white, you represent Shango, the god of thunder. In the Ifa tradition, Shango. Oops. Or, you got on red and black, you represent Eshu. Eshu Odara. Come on, man. Raise it up. That's part of my topic today. Vibrate higher, man. Vibrate higher. Don't you guys want to vibrate higher? I want to vibrate higher. I want to take it to the next level of existence. Who wants to go there with me? Now, before we get into today's topic, Total Package Energy, one of my favorite energy drinks, if not the best energy drink I've ever had in my life. It's a life changer, game changer. What did I do? Oh, my little collars. I'm sorry. Let's see if we can clean it up. All right, we're good. All right. It's a game changer. Total Package Energy. Let me tell you right now, man, one of the best drinks for stamina. I know a lot of guys who are personal trainers. I know a lot of guys who are fitness people, a lot of women who are fitness people, and they use this to get them through, to power through their workout. So, again, Total Package Energy, I suggest everybody go get 40 cases of it. Oh, by the way, I just spoke to the brother from Total Package Energy, and what he said was until the 31st, he's going to put extra bottles of Total Package Energy in every case. So let's push it and try to get 600 cases sold today. Is that unrealistic? I don't think so. 600 cases. Let's get it done. You understand? 600 cases. Total Package Energy. Also, the hurricane report. I keep telling you, I get a lot of my topics from this source right here, the hurricane report. Write it, take action, maintain freedom. Go to I'm going to say it correctly. https:// H what is it? H-report.news. H-report.news. Instagram, H_REEEPOORT. Twitter, @TheHReport2. Get over there right now and support this. I want to call it a journalistic mission. Like, it's journalism. These people are out here trying to spread the word. Alternative journalism, alternative news. Why not? Let's go for it. I'm with it. Let's continue. What else I got? Weed juice. Weed juice. This is my homeboy. He's in the Far East right now. His name is Tom McCullough. He's a personal trainer as well. He juices these special made juices. It's called Weed Juice. OUIJUICE. OUIJUICE.com. Go there right now and support my guy, Hassan McCullough. WeedJuice.com. Now, of course, you got to support me. The Relationship Dismount, how to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship. Let's go there right now. Amazon.com. 3 different formats: Kindle, Audible, and paperback. This book is a killer. If you're in a relationship and you want to work it out, right? If you're in a relationship and you want to figure it out with your partner, this is the book to read. Read together. Alternating chapters every night. 12 chapters. Exercises at the end of every chapter. This is the one. The Relationship Dismount, how to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship, exclusively available on Amazon.com in 3 formats: Kindle, Audible, for the lazy reader, the listener. Listen, I need to know the truth. How much do you remember when you listen to books? Do you wind up falling asleep? When you listening to books, do you wind up falling asleep? Hold on. They saying my mic is tripping.
It's cool where it is.
We good?
How you position right now?
1 2 1 2. We good? All right, excellent. Yeah. Again, get these books. Is that what I was talking about? What was I talking about?
The listener that falls asleep in audio.
That's what I want to know. Do you fall asleep while listening to audiobooks? I know I do sometimes. I can't even front. I have to read. I have to turn the pages. But Amazon.com has all 3 formats: Kindle, Audible, as well as paperback. Go there right now. Let's sell. And you know I got to sell a lot on Amazon because I got to give them half. It hurts. So if I'm going to sell a lot of those books, I have to sell a lot in order to see some money. It hurts. Amazon be like, half. Ha! Anyway, Go to, and then there's this book, The Holographic Relationship, the follow-up to The Relationship Dismount. Please, please, please go to my website right now. We only have 400 copies remaining. Well, a little over 400. Let me not, yeah, a little over 400. So yes, please, somebody say you're on Audible finally. I've been on Audible for a year. The Relationship Dismount was on Audible a year ago. But that's cool. That's cool. This internet, man, you will find out about stuff that was new 2 years ago. It's new to you though, because you just found out about it. So anyway, The Holographic Relationship, it's available on my website, IamZoWilliams.com. We only have 400 copies, a little over 400 copies left. Please go cash mob, go cash mob, go cash mob, go cash mob. Now, let's move on very quickly through the flow of this show. This is going to be like a mashup between my Zolo Man.Sions series as well as the Zo What Morning Show. Now, people who tune into the Zo What Morning Show are typically treated to current events. Well, let's get to our first current event. And this is very interesting. Colin Kaepernick just dropped a new shoe. And a lot of people have been asking me about the Colin Kaepernick thing. Now, 3 days ago, right? Or it was, yeah, I think it was about 3 days ago. There was an article that came out that said Nike is playing both sides of the Kaepernick, saga. They're playing both sides, right? Nike shares have risen over 19.5% since the Colin Kaepernick deal in September of 2018, adding $25.7 billion in market value. Now, can I just be honest? They playing both sides of the fence. They give money to the Republicans, right? Republicans are ultra conservative, right? Some would even say borderline racist, right? Some would even say overtly racist, right? Okay. Then they get the people's champ. Now, the people's champ can't get a job. See, do you guys remember me saying or quoting Shakespeare? The world is a stage, and everybody has their entrances and exits, and everybody has their role to play. You hear me quote Shakespeare all the time. This whole Colin Kaepernick saga reminds me of The Matrix. Part 2 and 3. In part 2, you have the architect, smug and assholish towards the Christ, the Neo, the Savior, right? 25 billion, that's what I said. $25 billion increase in market value for Nike, right? So you have this scene where the architect is talking during episode 2 of The Matrix called Reloaded. And man, we've gotten really good at destroying Zion. This will be our 6th time. Oh, you answered faster than your predecessors. Oh, this one is quite talented, right? The bottom line is, sit back. Okay, I'm sorry. The bottom line is the Savior is part of the Matrix. Yep. It's part of the system. Do you understand that? The Savior is part of the system. I know. Hey, man, I know. It gets you get mad about it. right? What is the opium of the masses? The opiate of the masses. It was Napoleon who said religion is the opiate of the masses. If they didn't have religion, they would go crazy and kill everybody. Why? They would kill the wealthy because the wealthy have what they don't have. So you need some type of social sedative. Unfortunately, Colin Kaepernick is the sedative in this equation. Something to believe in, something to hold on to, something to aspire to, right? But ultimately gets assimilated back into the very system that he's fighting against. This is what happened in episode 3 of The Matrix when Neo had to make the deal with the machines. Said, I can beat Agent Smith, but I'm gonna need y'all help. And the deal is we need peace and let people choose to be unplugged or plugged into the system. But guess what? The machines were still in power at the end of 3. And guess who got assimilated back into the system? Because the architect told him in 2, The Matrix 2, he told him, we take the code that's in you and upload it back into the system. We destroy Zion. We produce another one. You take 16, 23 women and 16 men and you restart Zion. That's what's happening right now. Is art imitating reality or is reality imitating art? Oh, you didn't get the NFL opportunity, but Nike playing both sides of the fence, which is the same thing. Who was it? What's the rich family that always plays both sides of the fence when there's war? Is it the Rothschilds? Yes, the Rothschilds. Yes, we need to create conflict. And we will create conflict with the purpose to bring forth a type of order. See, a lot of y'all thought order meant things are in order. No, it's a particular order, which is an agenda for those who are in power to get what they want from the masses. I'm going to create an order. But in order to create that order, I must create chaos and have you beg for the particular type of order I want to implement in the first place. Exactly, Hegelian dialectic. That's what it's called, the Hegelian dialectic. Order out of chaos. But not an order like common sense ain't too common. See, common sense is a type of order. Hey man, that's common sense. You should know that. No. An order more like the New World Order. Right? An order more like how do we create an ideological construct that causes people to believe in a certain thing that will allow them to guide their lives into our nets. That's what that shoe represents. It's sold out. I want to rep Neo, i.e. Colin. I want to rep Neo. So I'm going to go to the mega corporation to rep Neo. But the mega corp gets stronger because I'm giving it my money. 19.5% increase in market value. Over $25 billion since 2018, September 2018, when Colin signed the deal. Signing the deal is being reincorporated back into the system. The architect told him, hey, we done destroyed Zion. You free motherfuckers. Hey, free people. We've destroyed it 6 times already. You're the 6th Savior. You're the 6th Christ. How does this bring power to our community? Huh? How does this bring opportunity to our community? How does this bring wealth to our community? How does this bring cohesion to our community? Remember, our community has experienced getting jacked because of the type of shoe we wearing. Getting killed because of the type of shoe we wearing. Our community is accustomed, and I'm talking about, and I'm not speaking in absolutes, a portion of our community are accustomed to valuing shoes at a higher rate than other humans, than the humans who are wearing them. But, mama, I want to be like Colin because he made it. He can't make it unless the system that he's fighting against participates. Oh, Hey, I know you don't want to hear this. I know you don't like it. But we need to really look at who our heroes are and why are they our heroes and how did they become heroes and what help did they get along the way from the system that they're fighting against. Okay. I mean, it's a fair question to ask. And here Nike is saying, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm a fund both sides of the war, just like the Rothschilds do. I'm a fund both sides of the conflict, just like America does. Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, those guys were CIA agents at first. Saddam, he's in Iraq. Our enemy at the time was Iran. So we get the president of Iraq to be an operative so we could get intel from Iran. Now all of a sudden, he's a villain and needs to be taken away. Same with Osama bin Laden. Funding both sides of the war. Funding both sides of a conflict. Man, this is a powerful time we live in. Is this the same thing that's happening right now over the GOAT sneaker? The Air Force One, the GOAT, Colin Kaepernick, number 7 sneaker? How much money did the NFL make off of black folks buying the number 7 jersey? The proceeds go to the NFL. Okay. I'm going to move on from that. Our next topic. This is our current event section, man. I just be raising questions, man. I just be raising questions. That's all. Let me send a shout out and some prayers to Rep. John Lewis, who was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Georgia Rep. John Lewis, a longtime congressman and civil rights leader, announced Sunday he's undergoing treatment for stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Lewis, a Democrat who has represented Georgia's 5th congressional district for over 30 years, said doctors discovered the cancer during a routine visit. While I am clear-eyed about the prognosis, doctors have told me that recent medical advances have made this type of cancer treatable in many cases, that treatment options are no longer as debilitating as they once were, and that I have a fighting chance, Lewis said in a statement. Let me just say this. That's a human being. I don't give two shakes of a fat rat's ass about politics. I really don't. Because in order to have true politics, you must have integrity. You must be of high moral character and high moral fiber. I'm not saying this brother isn't of high integrity, high moral character. I don't know the man personally. I'm talking about the game of politics. Politics is a game. Right? And it's and the game that's played in American politics is dirty by default. This reminds me of the old Krishnamurti saying, it is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. So even our definition of what we consider to be moral, integrous, right? Upright, standing, right? Like this is a upright, this is a good moral fibered being. If they're in politics, and we know we have a branch of our politics that includes lobbyists. And a lobbyist is out there with the purse strings of the corporations, right? And the corporations are willing to pay congressmen money, politicians money, mayors money, whoever money in order to push forward their agenda. Am I lying? Now, I'm not saying that this brother did that. What I'm saying is politics in America, for the most part, is as corrupt as any other corporation or religion or belief system or person. It is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. Look, boom. Lobbyists, politician. You got bread, you got laws. You need a law? Listen, the going rate, listen, what's the difference between this picture that's up on the screen right now and your ability to pay the Catholic Church for forgiveness? You can pay priests for forgiveness. I forgot what it's called. Some of my Catholic people, what is it called?
Is it repentance or something?
No. It's another word. You can pay for forgiveness of particular sins. My Catholic people, what is that called? Somebody in the chat room gonna tell us. I forgot. Somebody said it's called pimping. No, it's not tithing. Indulgence.
Oh, indulgence. Yeah.
Yes. You can pay for forgiveness. You can pay for it. Just like you can pay for, if you got the money, you can pay for bills, you can pay for laws, you can pay for things to get passed. Come on. You can do it in the church, you damn sure can do it in the government. It's corrupt. I know. Nobody wants to hear this kind of stuff. And you say, well, what does this have to do with the congressman who has served for over 30 years? It has nothing to do with him because I don't know that man personally. But while I'm on the subject of politics, first off, I want to wish that man and his family well. Nobody, he's a human being. We want that brother to make it through and fight through. And I'm sure he's got all the best doctors or whatnot. But the reality of it is he's in a dirty game. Does the dirty game affect you when you've been in it so long? Can it contaminate your spirit? Once again, I want to wish that brother Nothing but love. What's the senator's name again?
John Lewis.
Senator John Lewis.
I think he's just representative. He's just a congressman.
Or he's a congressman. Congressman Lewis, I want to say, God bless, Godspeed.
He's a civil rights activist.
Civil rights activist. I want to say God bless and Godspeed, John Lewis. And I hope you are healed. Now let's move on to our next topic. I got topics, man. I just had to acknowledge them. Here's our next topic. Oh, wow. What day of Kwanzaa we on?
I don't know what is. What day of Kwanzaa? Okay, look.
Kwanzaa is a belief system that was created around some African ideas, concepts, and words. Those principles are based on umoja, which is unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose. I think we're on purpose. Nia or creativity?
Yeah, it started on the 26th.
Yeah. Purpose, creativity, and faith. Right? Nia, Imani, all of the terms. A lot of people are very scraped or conflicted, fragmented, and torn over Kwanzaa because of its creator, Dr. Maulana Karanga. The brother, was convicted of assaulting and falsely imprisoning 2 women in 1971, a handful of years after creating Kwanzaa. And I heard some of the stories are even, rougher than that, in regards to what was done to those women, falsely imprisoning or whatever. First and foremost, man, like where you start as a person is not where you end. And this is not about making excuses for any violence towards anybody. But where you start is certainly not where you end. Malcolm X started as Little Red and ended up as Malcolm X. And like I said, this is not a justification for whatever this brother did. But I want to point out something that's really interesting. When you ain't got nothing, you will hold on to anything that's offered that look like something. Y'all want me to speak the word this morning? When you ain't got nothing, you will cling on to anything that appears like something. Yes. Yes, Lord. Let me hold on to the appearance of something. This is what I mean by that. When you are bereft of the knowledge of self, when you are devoid of the knowledge of self, when you lack the truth of who you are, anything that looks like it has meaning will be clung to by you. You're going to hold on to it tighter than a boa constrictor that's 600 feet long. You're going to wrap around it and twist your body and integrate yourself into it. That's what you're going to do. When you don't have the knowledge of self, the truth of who you are. Where am I from? What am I about? What do I believe in? Why do I believe in what I believe in? Where did those beliefs come from? Were they born from trauma? Were they born from peace? How do they intersect with one another? Which one of those beliefs are outdated, and how do I begin to reconstruct? Oh, man. Kwanzaa. We need a black alternative to Christmas. Because Christmas is pagan. Right? What did Krishnamurti say? It is conceptual thinking that keeps men separate. Whatever idea, whatever symbol. You saw it in the first Nolan, what's the director? Is it Nolan Ryan, the director of Batman? Oh man, the Batman with Rachel, with lispy voice. Rachel! Right? Answer to me! Answer to me! Christopher Nolan is the director. So in that first Batman series, you see the lead actor who plays Batman saying, I have to become a symbol, something incorruptible, an idea. It is conceptual thinking that keeps men separate. I've already told you, I is ego. Right? I is ego. Ego is identity, which makes up the I, which is the self. According to Dr. David R. Hawkins, the self with a small s represents the ego. The self with a large S represents the universal God source of all that is. The divine source of everything that you are. Right? So the moment you take on an identity, right? What you have enrolled in the army of that belief system. Now, what's your rank, soldier? And if you don't know your rank in the belief system that you have adopted and now have to defend, are you a general in that belief system or are you a private? How do you become a general in the belief system of Kwanzaa? How do you become a general in any belief system? When you lack knowledge of self, you fall in line and begin to march as a foot soldier. You got, if sisters, I'm a ride with feminism. Well, you got to ride against all things patriarchal, or all things that are positioned and worded and framed as patriarchal. You're a perpetual war, yet you want peace. Okay, cool. It is conceptual thinking that keep men fragmented, separated. Brothers see me wearing red, they immediately go to blood. Oh, you a blood now. No, I'm not. Conceptual thinking. I have a blue one, an all blue one. If I wear the all blue one, am I now a mark? Because I switched sides, I'm a Crip now? Conceptual thinking. If I'm a Christian, everybody is sin. You not clean. You're an infidel. Oh, that's Muslim. That's Islam. Islam be calling people infidel. Hypocrite. He's a kafir. Yes, a kafir. He's a kafir. It's conceptual thinking that keep men separate. What we doing? Banging on each other because we rep a different idea. a different concept, a different symbol. If we go to Alfred Korzybski, the master linguist, right? He said, the map is not the territory. Words, concepts, ideas, those are maps. A symbol is a map. Right? The map is not the territory. Sure, GPS is getting hella sophisticated right now, but it can't tell you second by second changes in the road ahead. You have to experience that. The map is not the territory. The GPS is not the territory. The territory is having your feet on the ground in real time. Oh, God. What we gonna do? How to celebrate Kwanzaa. There's an article. How to celebrate Kwanzaa despite the actions of its founder. Of course, it's written by Sister Shantae Griffin. The holiday is a collective that is bigger than any one of us. Let's continue the tradition. She writes about the history of the brother Maulana Karanga. And like I said, I'm not for or against Kwanzaa in any way, shape, or form. It was created in 1966. Like I said, not for or against it in any way, shape, or form. Ideas are like training wheels, and at some point you got to take the training wheels off and begin to experience life on a one-to-one basis. So there are some people who need Kwanzaa. There are some people who need ideas to level themselves up to the next level, right, of existence. The next level of existence beyond great ideas and executing great ideas is being. And being has nothing to do with doing. In the Quran, maybe it's not in the Quran. It's somewhere. I forgot where I read it. Listen, I done forgot more shit than most people will ever know in their lives. I done forgot a lot. But the saying is kun fayakun. Be and exist. Arabic, which is in reference to the creation of Adam. We're going to create Adam out of black mud. Right? We're going to create Adam out of black mud, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to blow into his nostrils aruhu, the soul of Allah. And then he's going to say, be and exist. See, there's a difference between your being and what you do. And we've talked about this before. So many people are obsessed with doing and have no idea of what their being is, who they are. Your being is your meaning, is your power. What you do is a byproduct of who you are. I don't know. I don't know who I'm talking to this evening, Sarah. I don't know who I'm speaking to at this very morning. I don't know. But what you do is a byproduct of who you are. You can do more when you know the truth of who you are. And when I say do more, I mean do things that are deeply rooted in meaning. You know how many meaningless things you do so you can feel good in the moment? Oh, man. I'm just doing this so I can get past this difficult moment. You know how much busy work you doing to distract yourself from the real work that has to be done? Just busy work. Let me move around and let me go have something to drink. Let me go kick it with people I don't really like so I can feel like I'm a part of the crowd. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Kun fayakun. Allah blew into Adam's nostrils and said, exist and be, or be and exist. Kun fayakun. So many of us have to find that moment, that first moment when Adam, according to the Quran, if you want to believe the Quran, I'm just using those words as a metaphor, as a symbol of something. Being. Can you define your being? Do you have a definition for your being? For what it means to be you? Especially if you want to make an impact on the world. Most of our doing is predicated on comparison and conforming. Hold on now. Comparing and conforming. Most of our doing. Comparing and conforming. So many of us are so afraid of that word, just be you, that statement, just be you. They're afraid of it because they don't know what the you means. No, you mean just be you? You mean just be like you? No, it means just be you. No, you mean be like you. What? So many people are afraid, man. So many people are afraid to be themselves because society tells you if you don't have external things that you, as yourself, ain't enough. You live in a sick society that tells you love ain't enough. You got women running around here talking about love ain't enough. Love don't pay the bills. While at the same time believing in a God who said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. How is love not enough in your love life, but it's okay that your Savior and his Father sacrificed him? Okay, I don't even want to get into the contradiction. For God so loved, love equals sacrifice. Love equals sacrifice. What are you sacrificing? It's a metaphor. John 3:16. You don't know no Christian that'll sacrifice their kid for the saving of the world. But the metaphor was sacrifice anything that is priceless to you to save humanity. What is the most priceless thing in that story, in that metaphor to God? Well, his only begotten son. But he loved his creation, the rest of them, so much that he was willing to sacrifice the son. The metaphor is sacrifice. People took it and said, well, goddamn, he done sacrificed baby Jesus. Baby Jesus is dead now. Well, if that's the case, if the sacrifice actually happened, why is the world still so corrupt now? The metaphor is sacrifice. What are we really sacrificing, ladies and gentlemen? We're sacrificing ego. We're sacrificing petty. You want to experience love? You got to sacrifice fear. You got to sacrifice your ego. You got to sacrifice your pettiness. You got to sacrifice the mediocrity that's in your spirit. You got to sacrifice wanting to be stimulated externally. You got to sacrifice, quote unquote, what this sick society says are the finer things in life. If you notice, most spiritual saints, gurus, elevated, ascended masters, whatever you want to call, broke. in a cave in the Himalayas and don't get eaten by a mountain by a tiger? Well, I learned to find balance with nature and one with God. And what? What did you eat? Your manhood is made up of these principles. You're not a man unless you can go out, kill, feed. Part of that is overcoming fear, right? Or part of that is utilizing fear. Ooh, I know. Part of that is utilizing fear. Let me just say this real quick. Yogi Fish, thank you, brother, for the super chat. All is good. Thank you for the super chat. There's a lot of people in here, man. Thank you guys for the super chat. Please continue to hit the super chat. We appreciate it and respect it big time. And we're at the end of the year, so go ahead and show some love on that. Speaking of sacrifice. In order to love, man, you got to sacrifice your ego. You got to sacrifice your pride. You got to sacrifice your inner petulance. Right? A little petulant child. Remember, sometimes you got to sacrifice your idea. Look at. Sometimes you got to sacrifice ideas in order to grow. Sometimes the ideas you refuse to sacrifice are ideas that make you the most comfortable, but clearly you've outgrown them. You understand? We live in a tough world, man. Things are changing. And sometimes you got to sacrifice old ideas and outdated beliefs. It's just like the woman who is attracted to the abuser. Keep going back to the abuser because that's all she knows and she's comfortable with that. In order for her to grow, she's got to sacrifice the comfort that comes through abuse. It is conceptual thinking that keep men separate. The more you dig in your heels to hold on to beliefs that are outdated, that are inflexible, the more, I would say, strife and the more, stress you're going to experience. All right, let's move on to the next topic. I got topics galore. I got a topic for you right now that really breaks my heart. Woman, 21, killed in her salon days after thieves assaulted her over her weave. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Zolo Show, Zolo Man.Sions on VOR-radio.com. Check it out. How we gonna go into the new decade? We at the end of a decade doing stuff, man. How are we gonna go into a new decade being different? We gotta sacrifice beef with each other if we want to experience love. If we want to experience cooperation, economic cooperation, spiritual cooperation, spiritual appreciation and approval of one another, we have to sacrifice the boundaries that keep us separate. A woman, only 21 years old, killed in her salon days after thieves assaulted her over her weave. At the age of 21, Destiny Harrison had built a successful business as the owner of Madam D Beauty Bar in Southwest Baltimore. However, her success was met with hate, and she was often targeted by criminals who were seeking to take that which she earned. Several days before Christmas, Harrison, a mother of a 1-year-old child, was shot in the head while in her salon, according to the Baltimore Sun. On December 26th, family members gathered outside of her salon to host a vigil for Harrison and to call for an end to violence in Baltimore. So far this year, 338 people have been killed in Baltimore, making it one of the deadliest years in the city in the past decade. And this is a beautiful sister, 21 years old, a mother of a 1-year-old. And niggas is hating because she got a weave. Break up with your self-hate. Oh, well, she hated herself because she wore a weave. The Egyptians wore weaves. The Egyptians had fake beards made of boar's hair. Motherfucker didn't have no long 18-inch wavy beard down here. Come on. Queen Hatshepsut wore the beard when she took the throne. You kill a sister because she pulls herself up in one of the toughest cities in America. Baltimore, one of the toughest cities in America. East Coast, DMV, stand up. How can you believe in yourselves when those among you would do something to this sister because she changed her narrative? She could have fallen into the thought magic, right? She could have fallen into thought logic. She could have fallen into all types of foolishness. But no, she turned her life around. She opened a salon, didn't say she had a man, so I'm assuming she was a single woman, a single mother. But a single mother who said, I'm going to start a business to take care of my child. Being harassed by dudes because she got a weave. Okay. So, but you want unity and you want respect and you want the government to look at you as human. Well, what you did to this woman is inhuman. Oh, well, it's a byproduct of slavery. It is. But you disrespect Farrakhan because he's been teaching for over 50 years, 60 years, telling you the way out of it. He's just one. It's a bunch of people that have been teaching. This knowledge is here. So when the knowledge is in your face, that could turn you around internally, and you actively ignore it, now you're responsible for the way your community is. Somebody says, Zoe, they broke into her salon days before she was killed and stole weave from her shop. Steal the weave then and leave her alive and let her mother that 1-year-old baby who doesn't get to know who she was now. They can only know via memory.
On the people
that did it, and they came and killed her. Brilliant. Thank you. Somebody said Minister Farrakhan been teaching 64 years since 1955, Brother Zoe. Thank you. Still a long time. Still doesn't have the actual accuracy of how long he's been teaching. Has nothing to do with the point I'm making. Decades of teaching, decades of ignoring. That's the point I'm making. Decades of ignoring. The information been out here. You know, a lot of our people are like that. I want to add to it. Yes, it's fine. Stole $3,000 worth of merchandise. Weaves. And then got mad because maybe she saw one of them. I know you, Jerome. You come on. Sad, man. It's sad. And with that, that leads me to today's topic. I mean, God damn, that leads me to today's topic. You're listening to Dash Radio, VOR Radio. Dash gave me my own channel. It's called Voice of Reason Radio. Started in September. And unfortunately, in September, we went on this move. And, you know, it hasn't stalled. It's on air live. All you have to do is download the Dash Radio app. Speaking of that, everybody, go to my iStar page, because all of these shows that I'm recording here on this platform, which is vibefree.tv here in Inglewood, I'm putting all of these shows on my iStar page, and we're closing in on 500 subscribers right now. So I need everybody that's on my YouTube channel to go to it's iStarVids.com. Vids is spelled with a Z. iStarVids.com. Go there right now and subscribe to my channel. That was the current event section. Let's jump right into today's topic. Are you setting goals or limits for 2020? Are you setting goals or limits for 2020? I've got questions. How can a socially roboticized mind create the intention needed to experience true freedom? When is the last time you asked yourself a question like that? Never. You don't even be reading. How can a socially roboticized mind create the intention needed to experience true freedom? True or false? A flexible mind helps us to deal with chaos, loss, significant life changes, small frustrations, and all that life throws our way. A flexible mind leads to more peace. True or false? Do you see how this flexible mind line of questioning comes in? Direct opposition to what we were talking about earlier with regards to taking on a concept. Krishnamurti said it is conceptual thinking that keeps man fragmented, that keeps men fragmented. Typically, when you are both feet in on a concept, on an idea, which creates an identity, which creates a sense of self, you're going to fight it tooth and nail. This is why a Christian can't see a flaw in the Bible. This is why Muslims can't see flaws in the Quran. Ain't no flaws in the Quran. Wrong. If it's been translated and touched by man's hands, it's flawed. Men do everything men do perfect. Wrong. True or false? All or nothing thinking can also cause us to ruminate, which can worsen anxiety or depression. Sometimes when you get a fragment of what you want, you get disappointed that it was just a fragment. You want the whole thing. And you don't understand that life is fragmented. Life is quantized. We talked about this before. Life is pixelated. Pixelated in time, pixelated in movement, pixelated in memories. Life is fragmented. Pixelated in experience. An experience is one pixel. You might need 300 experiences to create one picture accurate picture or accurate depiction of who you are. Sometimes you may need 5 to get that picture. Sometimes you may need 10. Sometimes, the luck of the universe, you might get 1 experience that gives you a whole answer. But typically, it's hashtag IAP. It's a process. True or false? All or nothing thinking can also cause us to ruminate, which can worsen anxiety or depression. You listen to 50 Cent when he said, get rich or die trying. That's all or nothing thinking. Sometimes the universe is giving you pieces to put together. Have you ever recorded an album? Pieces that get put together. There is a process. And although there's great success around that Get Rich or Die Trying album, one of my favorites, what you may miss is the process behind what produced it. You get the end result and think that's how it's supposed to manifest in your life. No, that brother was on a journey. And that's how he arrived at Get Rich or Die Trying. As a project. What is flexible thinking? A lot of people don't even ask themselves these types of questions. True or false? All creation begins with setting intentions. Even if you don't realize it, a subtle impulse enters your mind before you do anything. This impulse is a seed of new life. With each thought and intention, you set in motion the power of energies of the universe. True or false? Do you believe it? Do you believe it? Are you setting goals or are you setting limits for 2020? What's your timeline for giving up on your resolutions? February, into January, March. You get yourself to March. What's your timeline? Yes, somebody said, I heard a Sith deals in absolute. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. Huh? You want your life to be different. You have to set the intention. Your behavior can't change until your conditioned mind changes. Right? The way you think, the way you move, the way you feel, the way you get down. If you never challenge those things, if you never challenge yourself, right? I mean, I got so many people running around talking about living their truth. But if your truth is self-serving, if your truth is detrimental to the development of true friendship, if your truth is detrimental to the development of you being accountable for what happens to you in your life, at least co-accountable, right? Like there's a co-responsibility in what happens to you, right? You know, especially this generation throws people away because they think people are disposable. I think Big Chris is at the door. Can you let him in? He just texted me. Lord have mercy. This boy is bothersome. I didn't tell him to come here. Right? But people, especially in this generation, like I said, they throw people away because people are considered to be useless to them. Like a person is not a damn tool in a toolbox that's designed to get you what you want. That's not this, that's not what people are for. What's interesting about people is people show you who you are. Now, you heard me say this before on many occasions. The great sister, what's the sister? Believe people when they tell you who you are.
Oh,
That ain't Ayanna Van Zandt. Would you
That's
say?
Maya Angelou.
That's Maya Angelou.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't. You said Ayanna Van Zandt. So you hear people say, you know, when people show you who they are, believe them, right? But I've taken that same statement and said, when people show you who you are, believe them. See, because you'll be with people, man, and they will see a reflection of themselves in you, and then call you the abuser, when in actuality they looking at themselves and they just don't want to accept the fact that they ain't shit, and the ain't shit person they got is reflecting the shittiness of them back to them. When a person shows you who you are, believe them. You think you deserve better than what you got? What you got is who you are. It's a reflection of who you are. If you want it better, or if you want better, I should say, you got to be better. You got what fits you perfectly. That's how they settled into your life in the first place. I know people be like, shut up, Zo. You want a different 2020? Because let me tell you something. All this build up to, and it's 2020, the end of the decade. Time don't give a fuck about you. Time is no respecter of people. And if you continue doing the same things you've been doing since you were 16, it don't matter if the decade is changing. What you gonna do in 48 hours that's gonna be 180 degrees different from what you're doing now? See, somebody told you childish little people that getting rid of people is making change. Oh, I don't know who I'm talking to this evening. We need choirs, we need church music, we need gospel in here. I don't know who I'm talking to. Somebody told you that getting rid of people, there she is, hallelujah, baby. Somebody told you that getting rid of people is making change. You still you. You're going to attract a new version of me. And he going to finish the job. Hey, Sister Grace, Sister Abernathy, Grace Abernathy. Do you understand? Yeah. That is the way of spirit. Spirit has a way of saying, okay, you need a harder lesson, right? You don't want to accept this lesson. Well, let me intensify it. Spirit has a way. And the crazy thing about the intensification of lessons that come to our lives, when they intensify, oftentimes they also become more subtle. Listen to that contradiction. It's more intense, but it's also subtle. All of the new coping mechanisms you created to protect you from ever experiencing that again is useless against the subtlety of this more intense lesson that is a continuation of what you think fear is helping you guard against. Oh, Lord. Oh my God. Y'all got to hit the like button. Y'all got to hit the share button. Y'all got to hit that super chat. Y'all not in church right now. Y'all got to hit that super chat for your brother now. You want 2020 to be different. What are your top 10 bullshit beliefs about yourself? What are your top 5 beliefs that you know you've outgrown, but they bring you great comfort? Woo. True or false, 80%, approximately 80% of New Year's resolutions fail. Why? Because they're not created on a spiritual level. They're created out of fear. They're created out of escapism. I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do this no more. How many of y'all created some I don't want to do this no more resolutions? I don't want to do this no more, mama. Mama. How many of y'all got I don't want to do this no more resolutions? Mama, I promise I ain't gonna do it again. That's that mama, I don't want me no more face. You want your life to be different. Try loving yourself. Try accepting yourself. Try approving of yourself. Right? How do you do that? So one of them judges in your spirit got to get quieted. There's a book called, it's a book on self-forgiveness. I think it's called Self-Forgiveness by Colin Tippin. I think that's the book. Colin Tippin. Self-Forgiveness. I see you over there trying to pull it up. There it is. I see the book cover right there, honey. Colin Tippin. In that book, he breaks down that there are 3 inner judges. One is the parental judge, which is all the criticism and critiques you get from your radical self-forgiveness practices. That's the book. Colin Tippin. I've read it about 6 times. I always read it. I give it over to my coaching clients, people who are serious about coaching. Especially if they're going through breakups, traumatic life experiences, I have them read this book. Very good book. He breaks down 3 internal judges. The parental judge, the adult judge, which represent your adult self. The parental judges are your parents, of course, what you've learned from your parents. And then there's the inner child judge. The 2, parental judge and adult judge, gang up on the inner child. Right? This is a blockage to self-forgiveness, a blockage to self-approval, self-acceptance, self-esteem, self-worth. Right? What's my mama gonna think? What my mama gonna think? First off, your mama ain't got nothing to do with this. Get your mama. What my friends gonna think? Most people are in the business of pleasing everybody other than themselves. They're in the business of pursuing the approval of everybody else and not themselves. You want to forgive yourself, you got to quiet the parental judge. You've got to quiet the adult judge. What do my friends think? I should have this. You've got to quiet superficial external comparisons with others. You've got to quiet all of that down. And you've got to elevate the inner child. The inner child ain't going to heal until you acknowledge it. The inner child must be embraced and loved by you first. You say, oh, no. Parental judge, y'all sit down. My friends, adult judge, y'all sit down. Let me sit with myself. Let me appreciate the inner child that is me. You want your resolutions to work. Your resolutions are not just a set of actions where you run out and change what you used to do. Your resolutions are changing how you think first, changing what you believe in first, challenging those beliefs. You've been running around doing immoral shit. What is immoral? It doesn't mean heinous. It's just immoral. It's just not right. You with one dude because you need somewhere to stay. So you tell another dude to wait until you get another place after having to stay with that dude. Then you and that dude get together because he gave you a place to stay. But you still want to fuck with the other dude. But you don't want to let that dude know that the dude you staying with is now your man. Because out of the kindness of his heart, he gave you a place to stay. What? Listen, you're not evil for that. You're just immoral. You don't have no code. An integrous code that goes, I can't do that. Then you'll sit there and say, well, what about if I want the dick? Just immoral. There's no judgment. It's just, this is something you got to look at within yourself and say, that's fucked up. Okay, I'm cool. That's fucked up. You want to be different in 2020? Say, how am I greedy? Because that's an act of greed. I want this. Right? I want this. But I can't have it right now because I'm not in position to have it. But you know what? I'm going to make it seem cool so I can have it. How often do we do that? How often do you know people who do that? You want 2020 to be different? How are you going to be different? It was Krishnamurti who said, you want to change the world, you must first change yourself. It was Krishnamurti who said, the enemy, this is the coldest quote he ever said, the enemy is you. That's it. The enemy is you. How many good people you know came from an immoral background or an immoral situation or an immoral lifestyle and changed who they were and became something else? It happens. But we got mother judge, father judge, friendship, peer judge all around us, and that inner child within us is getting beat up by the judgments of those voices. You want to change who you are? You've got to challenge who you are. Somebody meme it up. You want to change who you are, you must first challenge who you are. What's going on at a deeper level that makes New Year's resolutions fail? And what are your top reasons for why they die on the vine? First and foremost, New Year's resolutions, and I hear people say this all the time about, changing up your circle. Do you know changing your circle is supposed to be an organic movement? See, I've been in LA since I was 8. That's when we moved from Chattanooga. We got to Altadena when I was 8. And I have worked at many, 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 many high-level gigs. Whether it was for Madonna, A&R, senior VP of Black Music A&R as a 23-year-old. Whether it was Loud Records, A&R West Coast, director of A&R West Coast. Exhibit came through. Madcap came through. Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, Raekwon. All that was there while I was there. All right? Exhibit. All that happened while I was there on my watch. Maverick, Michelle, and Degiacello, Jagged Lil Pill. I mastered Jagged Lil Pill, the album. That was my first assignment when I got there. Go master this album. Jagged Lil Pill. I've seen what it takes, right? Let me tell you something. This city will run you ragged if you don't have a strong sense of self. This city will tear you apart if you don't have a strong sense of self. You want to change the outcome of things, right? But if you don't have patience, work ethic, and respect for self, this is how your resolutions, this is how your plans all go to hell. You need a support team. You can't do none of this shit without a real team of people around you. Those people have to share your beliefs, but they can't be yes people. Do you understand that? They have to be people that respectfully challenge you. They have to be people that have an understanding of how to project manage, how to get things from point A to point Z. You got to have people that have knowledge of contracts. You got to have people that have knowledge of finance. You know, you need to set up a foundation, and you need to set up a corporation, and you need to put money in the foundation and the you need all these people around you that have your best interests at heart. Now, it's difficult to find these people. I'm going to tell you that right now. Everybody in this game is trying to take a bit out of you. I used to say, see yourself as a sandwich and be lucky if half of yourself is still there after you've interacted with everybody that you need to get to where you're trying to go. Because everybody wants a bite of it. You understand? Everybody wants a piece. But I'm asking you, how do you manifest what you've been working so hard to get? Here's a golden nugget. Before you even have a team, because a team needs something to circle around, right? To corral around, like, okay, and that's on you, right? What do I mean by that? You need a book. You need a brand. You need a product. But whatever it is, if you're an artist, you need paintings, right? Then people can say, oh, I see what you need. You need an art agent, right? You need a skill. You need a talent. You need something to develop, right? You develop that first. For years, after the music industry, I had to think, what am I going to do next? So it took me a couple of years to sit back and think. And then in 2005, boom, I had a book idea. The book idea came, it was Kool Moe Dee who said, Zo, you need to write a book. So I was like, all right, I'm going to write a book. I sit down and start writing the book. I finished the book. I give Modi a copy of the book. Modi thumbs through the book and goes, "Oh, you're gonna be poor." He said, "This ain't the fucking book I told you to write." Said, "I done gave you the $1 million idea. You won't write it." I said, "Well, this is the idea that came to me." "Yeah, nigga, you're gonna be poor." He's still gonna be poor. But he was wrong. Because that book led to many different things. In 2006, the foxhole happened. I'm on the basketball court playing with Marcus King. Marcus King and I have been playing since 2000. And we never asked each other what each man did. We were just playing. Now we playing up there at Palisades High School. There's a bunch of white folk up there. It's mixed court. One day, David Arquette hopped the fence and came and hooped with us. And he was like us. He was mad niggerish. He wanted to fight with people and everything. I was like, yeah. But one day, Marcus was like, "Zo, man, we about to do the foxhole." And he was like, "I want you to come up there. And we also about to do this TV show called Black Men Revealed on TV One." And he was like, and Marcus was enamored by me. Now, me and Marcus had got into a fight the year before. I had to headbutt Marcus. Because this is when I was still hella athletic, and I was balling, finishing at the rim. I was killing. And Marcus got mad because I was dogging him. And so he scratched me across the face. So I said, "All right, nigga, you just old and slow. The next foul, I'm going to go off on you." That's right. So he fouled again. He from East Oakland. So, of course, I challenged him. He fouled me again. So I turned around and headbutt the shit out of his ass. So we didn't talk for about a month. We didn't talk for about a month. But then after that, he was like, "Yo, man, I'm doing the foxhole. I'm doing," there was a certain level of respect after that. He knew, like, I just can't be scratching him in the face. Okay. But he was like, "I'm doing the foxhole. And I'm doing Black Men Revealed. I want you to do Black Men Revealed." Now, every Saturday when I went up there, I used to dog the white people with history lessons. And one of Bill Clinton's best friends, an older gentleman by the name of Buster, a white man, he loved it. Because it was history I was talking. We go up there, it's a bunch of brothers up there, it's a bunch of white people up there. So the first thing I say is, it's the Moors against the Middle Europeans. And Buster, this is a solid white dude, man, he used to be an actor. Buster goes, "Oh no, Zo, we can't be the Middle Europeans, the Moors destroyed us." He said, "Come on, Zo, that's not fair. Let's mix the teams." Because if it's all Moors against all whites, we're going to lose. And Marcus is watching me do this week after week. And he's like, "Oh, this motherfucker Zo is dope." So that's when he offered me that opportunity for that situation. I go on and do Black Men Revealed, right? I go on and do that show. And the episode that I did at the time, the host of the show was David Arnold. I did an episode called Why He Won't Go to Church. And they put me on there with a pastor, Pastor Singleton, and a couple of other people, and I was going in. And that was Marcus's mandate for me. He said, man, you better act like you on the basketball court. That's all I got to say. You go in there and you act like you on the court and kill these fools. And I went in there and just was cutting up. And I cut up so bad that that was one of the top viewed episodes of that season. So then they called me back for 2008. 2008, by this time, I got my own show on the Foxhole. It's a process. We went from 2005 to 2008, a 3-year period. I did 2 TV shows and had my own radio show on Sirius XM. It's a process to manifest. But if I didn't start with that first product that I could build a team around, which was my first book called The Rebirth of Seeds. It's out of print. A lot of people have been asking for it. That was the book that said, Modi was like, man, you're going to be broke. This ain't the book I asked you to write. But that started it all. That's by 2008. You understand? It's a process. By the time I hit 2011, I'm in a relationship with a young lady that I have been in since 2005. The relationship goes south in 2011. I'm heartbroken over it. I'm crushed because I love this one. I was like, damn. Put that little boy up. Let me show you my face. This is my face. But from that heartbreak comes the relationship dismount. The relationship dismount. That relationship created the impetus for this book. And Kumo D was integral in this book as well. Pieces. I keep telling you, life is fragmented. You get bits and pieces of the truth of yourself through every experience. And Kumo D gave me another piece. And it was him talking about how to write rhymes. I'm listening to Mo D break down. I'm listening to him listen to other people. Right? And he's going, oh, he ended that rhyme wrong. That was a terrible dismount. I don't like the way he ended that rhyme. That the dismount was terrible. What's up, brother? We on the air right now. So he kept saying the dismount. The dismount is not cool. The dismount is off. And I was like, what? The dismount? What do you mean? And he was like, well, you know, like a gymnast. You know, he was like, the whole rhyme, the whole routine can be dope. But if you don't stick the landing, the dismount, to me, it throws the whole rhyme off. Everything is whack from that point. I was like, wow. So I heard that. So then I started looking it up like, oh. So I said, okay, the routine on the floor, that's your relationship routine. When the relationship routine breaks down, how you leave the relationship, how you stick the landing will be beneficial for how you move forward. It'll set the tone for how you move forward. How many of you motherfuckers miss the landing when getting out of a relationship and carry all the energetic debris from that relationship into the next one? Stick the landing. So although I hated having to go through what I went through with the breakup of the girl I was with from 2005 to 2011, I hated that. Because, it's hard to find a situation where you put on, it's like wearing one of them old heavy coats that it feel like a bed. It feel right. It feel comfortable. Have you ever just rubbed the nape of your neck on the back of a flurry collar and you just was like, God damn, I feel good in this jacket. Well, that's how I felt in that relationship. So when it ended, I was pissed. I was heated. I was mad at myself. I was mad at everybody involved. But in hindsight, I now see the benefits of the breakup, because the breakup led to a manual of how to stick the landing. It's a process. So many people want the answer right now. You live in a microwave society that's asking for microwave true answers. But the truth, again, is pixelated. It's fragmented. Wherever there is a perspective, there is a facet like that within a diamond. The more facets to a diamond, the more brilliant it is. So that means everybody got a piece of the truth. Do you understand? It took me a minute to get there. But once I got there, I understood the purpose of why I had to go there. The holographic relationship came next. 5 years after the 2015 release. Because understand, it took me 4 years from 2011 to 2015 to get the relationship dismount going. It took another 5 years or 4 years for the holographic relationship to come. A process of studying and reading and trying to understand myself better. After writing the relationship dismount, who have I become since then? Who am I now? I guarantee you, you can find some dirt on everybody. Everybody in this sick world, you can find some dirt on them. Everybody. But the question becomes, when was the most dirt on them versus when is the least amount of dirt on them? When you see a person in the process of getting the dirt off themselves, can you then use the discarded dirt as a justification to say they're not worthy because of that dirt? Well, that dirt is coming off. This person is clearly in transition. Right? That person is in transition. Can you say, oh, well, I don't trust this person because of what they did in the past? Well, unless you have a personal experience with them and you know them directly, you cannot ascertain at what point they have changed, what degree they have changed. You don't know them. So you should say, well, I go by what is presented by the media. What if the media is biased towards that person? There's so many variables to it. The best thing to do is keep quiet and say nothing. That's what the spiritual mind does. Whether it's Taoism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Shinto, they will tell you sometimes the best answer in any situation is either indeterminate or nothing at all. It's a process, ladies and gentlemen, to make these New Year's resolutions work. It is a process. True or false, intentions come from a deeper place than goals do. You may set goals within your mind and choose the goals that you think are good based on others. However, when setting intentions, it forces you to unravel what your true desires and motives are. How can you set a new resolution for a new year when you don't even know definitively what you want from this life? If you don't know who you are, how can you know what you want? Somebody said, nah, bruh, I need answers. Well, ask yourself. An answer from the outside of yourself is a counterfeit truth. It's a shadow truth. Have you ever heard somebody say something that rang true in your spirit? Then that means your spirit is the one that confirmed what was said from the outside. How much stuff do you hear that don't ring true in your spirit? Ooh. The unknown is so abstract, huh, Zo? Based on the definition of abstract, right? Let's pull it up. Let's see the definition of abstract. Because people like to contribute. I like to pull them in, Thomas D. Right? Pull it up. The definition of abstract. Yeah, put it up there. Yeah, you find it and then you let me know.
Okay, I got you.
Right? I want you to understand resolutions based on escapism will not be fruitful. Resolutions have to be based on your core truth, your core reality. Resolutions have to be based on the absolute unwavering truth of who you are. Now, please understand that is the same thing as saying your truth is in alignment with the will of God. A Muslim will say, Insha'Allah or Masha'Allah. Insha'Allah, what Allah wills. Masha'Allah, if Allah wills. No, Masha'Allah, what Allah wills. Insha'Allah, if Allah wills. I'll get it right. I'd have told you I didn't forgot a lot. Insha'Allah, if Allah wills. Masha'Allah, what Allah wills. Don't you know you are in alignment with the will of Allah once you become in alignment with the knowledge of self? I need somebody to hear that. Don't you know you are in alignment with the will of Allah or the will of God or the will of Brahman or the will of whatever name you want to give it? Once you become in alignment with the knowledge of self? It's all right, baby. Look at this jacked up picture. Never mind. Abstract is not concrete or solid, right? Right? Not concrete or solid.
Not related to concrete objects, but expressing something that can only be appreciated intelligently.
And we live in a time of anti-intelligence. This is why spirituality is not appreciated today. Because you need to be able to understand it, not only just intellectually, but spiritually. People don't understand spirit is a higher vibration of intelligence. Let me give you an example. Have you ever known or understood something but didn't have the words for it? That's spiritual intelligence. Right? You know it. It's understood to you. But you can't put it in words. You understand? I'm gonna go get with the right people. I'm gonna go get with the right crew. You can't do that until you beat up the fear in you. You got to kick the fear in you out. You got to kick the judgment in you out, the criticism in you out. And when I say judgment and criticism, positive judgment, being able to weigh between one thing and another, is valuable. When I say criticism, constructive criticism is necessary. If you don't have a constructive criticizing cat on your team, somebody be like, you goofy for that. Listen, don't do that. You need that person on your team. How many times have we heard the story about the guys who have the yes men around them all the time? And they don't get checked, and thus they find themselves in dire straits a lot of times. You need somebody on your team that's going to be constructively critical of you. Put that windblown, put ancient aliens away. Put ancient aliens away. No, but you need that on your team. Someone who's going to be respectful of your position in the enterprise that you're working on, but someone that's also going to be honest with you and tell you the truth about the direction you're taking. You need that person. Resolutions are not escape vessels from who you are. Do you understand? Resolutions are not a vehicle for escape from who you are. The more you get out of this world, the more intensified you become. Have you ever heard that statement where they say the more money you get, the more it intensifies who you really are? Come on now. You think getting things and acquiring things and accumulating things is somehow going to change who you are. It's not. It's going to intensify. Are you setting goals or limits? Are you setting intentions or limits? What do you want this life to be for you? What do you want this world to be for you? You have to first understand what's holding you back. And typically, it's a belief. It's a concept. In what ways are you sabotaging your New Year's resolutions before the New Year even show up? I remember Veronica Conway said something that was quite profound. Did I mess up my mic? I probably did. Is here? Okay. I remember she said something that was quite profound. She said, you can't write a business plan with fear in it. You can't write a business plan with fear in it. If you have fear in your heart while you're writing a business plan, you're going to integrate fear into that business plan. That was profound for me. When I heard her say that, I was like, damn, that's profound. Same thing with a resolution. if you're writing fear, if fear is behind the authorship of the resolution, it ain't gonna happen. If ego and pride and all of the terrible things that are within you that haven't been resolved are behind the authorship of the resolutions, they're not going to be able to maintain or sustain the energy necessary to get them to the next level. Let me just say this, man. This has been a special Zolo Man.Sions show. And as is commonplace, this is always the beginning point for a broader conversation. You've been listening to Zoe Williams on VOR Radio, VOR, Voice of Reason Radio. That's my channel on Dash Radio, man. I'm so pleased and thankful for Dash Radio giving me my own channel back in September of 2018. I'm growing the channel. I'm looking for talent. I'm looking for everybody who wants to change the world with me. And also, everybody should definitely go over to my iStar page. Everybody should sign up to iStar right now. I'm looking to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the day. Can we get that done? Everybody go to iStarVids. Vids is spelled with a Z.com. iStarVids.com. Get over there right now and subscribe. Again, this starts the conversation. You guys finish the conversation. We appreciate everybody for tuning into Vibe Free TV, VOR Radio on Dash Radio, as well as my YouTube channel. Thank you all for hitting the like button. Thank you all for hitting the share button. Thank you all for super chatting. We appreciate you guys. And we'll be back later on tonight with the final Voice of Reason show of 2019. I'm Zoe Williams. Deuces.